back to Bear With Me. The Boston Bruins are now 10-9-3, and that is good enough for 4th in the Atlantic, 8th in the Eastern Conference, and 17th in the National Hockey League. My name is Joe Copponi. That's Rob Tocci. Rob, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. The show is brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time Tickets, the best place to buy tickets online to sports concerts, all your favorite events in the Boston Bruins. Fire their head coach, just like we said we waited a little bit to do this because we knew Jim was going to get a job after 5 days on the open market. Check that out. We're just going to jump right into that. That's obviously the biggest story around the Boston Bruins. Crazy. We didn't have an instant reaction because Bruins Beat went live and they kind of, covered it for the channel. They were here, but even more development. So it's not even like we missed news. We just waited for more headlines. Crazy. Run me through your instant reaction, though, when it happened.
Well, I feel like we didn't have an instant reaction because we all knew it was coming. Like, the entire episode that we recorded literally the day before was like, well, Montgomery's getting fired. I think at the time, what did I say? It was like 70% chance it happens by like the end of the month or something. But like, I think we both felt like pretty reasonably sure it was going to happen.
I think you were more surefire than I was.
Yeah, that's true.
I won't jump in. I won't take credit where it's not due. I said that I thought they were going to wait till the end of the month at least. You said the next time they play a game, they might have a new head coach. And I said, that's a little extreme. And you were correct.
That was correct. I mean, whispering started reaching our ears the day after, like, sounds like something might be happening. And of course it did. And so, yeah, like I liked how the team reacted to it because, of course, like the press got into the locker room and got to get their instant reaction. And for the most part, it was basically this was avoidable. And our poor play led to us losing a great coach and a great person. And there was a lot of like reverence in their speech and a lot of reflection in it, too. A lot of like, damn, okay. So much so that like I knew for at least the first game following the firing, like on Thursday against Utah, I'm like, they're going to win it. They absolutely will win it. Yeah. And if they didn't, that would have been optically terrible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, immediate reaction. Like it sucks because like we like Monty, like clearly like the team is a big fan of him and so much success with like a 741 point percentage. Like you won 3 out of every 4 games you played. That's unbelievable. The third Jack Adams winning coach the Bruins have fired in a row, who got hired within 8 days for all 3 of them, was 5 for Monty, 7 for Claude, and 8 for Bruce. So yeah, not surprising. Still sucks to see. I don't know why I didn't consider Joe Sacco. Like I was like, oh, Leach probably. But of course, like in retrospect now, like Sacco makes perfect sense. Like he's been with the team for so long, and he's a different voice, but like still gets the Bruins system and like isn't going to reinvent the wheel with this team, which is like not really what they needed. So yeah, no, like again, it sucks to see Monty go, but wish him all the best in St. Louis.
That
sucks.
I have so many thoughts, and I'm positive that I'm not going to hit them all because I'm scatterbrained because I have a million things that I want to talk about this. First of all, there's like 2 directions people are kind of taking this, and it is that like the team wasn't happy with Monty. Were they playing to get him fired? And the other one being, did Monty want out this whole time? Because as time has gone on here, we've learned that he was offered an extension. They couldn't find the dollar amount, and some weird idiosyncrasies, I guess that's not the right word. Some weird coincidences were happening along with the timeline of the St. Louis Blues coaching staff. That leads some people to believe that St. Louis had their eye on Jim for a while. Maybe Jim wanted to go over there. I don't lend too much credence to the idea of Jim wanting to leave a contending team for the St. Louis Blues. I don't really believe that. I believe that if you're a team that isn't too great, and you see a team who has a good head coach that's on a lame duck contract, that you would have your eye on him. That makes total sense. If you're the Blues, sure, have your eye on him. But I just wanted to come. I just wanted to put out that I don't believe that Jim was like mailing it in because he couldn't find an extension. Because if he has a great year this year, then he is a free agent coach. You earn yourself a better deal. You drive up your own market price. Getting fired does not drive up your asking price. So I don't really lend any credence to that. Man, there's so many angles I want to talk about, and I'm absolutely right that I'm going to forget all of them.
Yeah, I'll throw into that too. I don't even know if it was like a dollar amount issue with Monty as much as it might have been like the years too, because Monty got a 5-year deal off the bat with St. Louis. And the timing that you're referring to, in case anybody doesn't know, is that St. Louis was hire or extend their coach until
I think it was extension
until like
or whatever.
Immediately after the Bruins eliminated Toronto in round 1 last year. The implication possibly being that St. Louis was waiting to see how that series went, i.e. waiting to see how Montgomery's future with the Bruins went, and if he were to be available, they were going to make him an offer. And of course, when they eliminated Toronto, moved on, they're like, all right, we'll stick with our guy. But the fact that as soon as Monty got fired, St. Louis fired their coach, and I believe it was their GM, was like, the reason we did that is because Montgomery was available. Like straight up honest, like, yeah, like this guy's better for the job, so we fired our guy to bring him in. And it's business, and that's unfortunate for that.
You just don't see that happen a lot, though.
No, you really don't. You really don't. But like Monty's a Jack Adams winning coach. He's a fucking great coach, and like, no, I also do not believe that he in any way was consciously like phoning it in to just get out of there like that.
Yeah,
I just refuse to believe a professional head coach in the National Hockey League would do that.
I mean, I guess there are instances where that would make sense. Like, let's say there was some kind of collusion going on and you were on a bottom feeding team, like you're the Ducks coach, and for whatever reason, the Maple Leafs have their eye on you, and you know that. Then I guess you're like, yeah, I want to get out of here. I want to get on the market because you can't trade me to Toronto. Right. And I get you could have some collusion, but that would be like a crazy big story. That would be a really big deal to do that. I don't understand why it doesn't make sense for him to mail it in. I think the perfect way to put this in my mind is that Jim Montgomery was the right coach for the time.
Yes.
And no longer the right coach for this time.
Which I feel is just what happens to coaches. It happened with Claude. Yeah. That happened with Bruce. Like
Claude's a great example. I like Claude's example. Because like Claude's a fucking Stanley Cup winning coach. And still, when the time came when he got canned, everybody was like, I mean, there was hashtag fire Claude all over Twitter. Like people wanted him out for a while.
Yeah, because the team got really young and talented, and that wasn't what he worked best with. And we're like, you're kind of getting in the way. Like I watched a video talk about like Brad Marchand's like explosion into like moving away from the pest and moving into like just being an elite goal scorer, an elite forward. And people were like, that didn't happen until Cassidy came in. Like Marchand didn't break 100 points under Julian.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like not even just like Pasternak and like some of the other younger guys. It's like Marchand also really benefited from that. So now, like, and again, it's like I feel like Claude to Bruce is a bigger change than Monty to Sacco will be. Because like I don't think they needed that massive of a change, like a complete reinvention, but.
And the other change there, sorry, go on.
The only other thing I want to bring up about Monty too is apparently, and I didn't know this. I don't even know if it's true, to be honest, is that he really wanted to bring in his own staff, and Boston wouldn't let him, and that might be happening in St. Louis, which might have been a reason he was like so inclined to go there so quickly.
Yeah. That's also not the kind of thing that you do for a guy who at the time was only on a 3-year contract. So I guess I understand that from the Bruins perspective as well. If you bring a guy in for 3 years and he's like, let me bring my whole team, you're like, hold on, let's give you a minute.
Get my
All right, you
posse
get
in
back
here.
into the lead. Yeah, we'll see, if when we extend you or whatever. But to go back to the whole, right guy for the right time kind of idea, Cassidy was chased out because the players were like, this guy's kind of a brick. Okay, like, don't really love this. Really not helping the culture. I think we have a good culture already, and I think he's detracting from it, right? We need a guy here to just further it and keep the guys in line, but that's it. And that's what Monty did. Monty came here. He had Bergeron here still when he got here, Krejci, and that culture alive, well, pushing forward. They needed a guy to give him a little thumbs up and whatever. But as that leadership left, and you could argue maybe some of that culture went with it, and a lot of that talent went with it, I don't think Monty was right for it anymore. And by the time he tried to transition into that hard ass and into the, yell in your face coach, the kick him into gear coach, it was too late. And I don't think it worked. I don't think that you can be the nice guy player coach for a couple years and then all of a sudden be the scream at you on the bench guy. I think guys are going to be like, fuck you, man. Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
When you don't have it from the beginning. So I don't think it's a detriment to Monty. I think it's like a series of things. This is 3 coaches in 5 years for the Boston Bruins. And those 2 guys that they have fired in that time are, actually the 3 guys that they have fired over that whole time, Stanley Cup winner and then 2 Jack Adams winners. One of them has gone on to win a Stanley Cup.
Not in 5 years.
3 coaches, 5 years.
No, Bruce Claude was much longer ago than that. It was the 16-17 season.
No way.
Yeah, we were in college. I remember watching Bruce's first game in my senior year apartment in middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, which is where you go to college.
Bruins head coaches.
Yeah.
17. So 3 coaches in 7 years.
Let's get it right.
Sorry.
If I didn't say it, someone in the YouTube comments would have yelled at us. So.
And all three of them, Jack Adams winners. I don't think that the Bruin, it on paper, the look is kind of brutal to be like, well, this guy's not good enough. And it's like, he just won the coach of the year. It's just a matter of fit. It's just a matter of fit, and it obviously wasn't working. And, this is a wicked small sample size, but it seems to be the kick that the guys needed to turn things around, at least at first glance. Not to say Sacco figured it out and he's the right guy for the job, but at least the coaching change seems to have had some impact on them. I just think it was worth driving home that I don't think this is that Monty sucks, get Monty out of here. I just think it was that he wasn't right for this team right now. I think he'll be fine in St. Louis. I think St. Louis will still suck, but I think he'll be fine.
And like every article on this is like, this wasn't Montgomery's fault. Montgomery is the scapegoat. It's like, I mean, it's either the players, which it was, or it's Sweeney and Neely, which like, maybe, but I don't know. Like, and it's like, you're not firing because like, you're like, they're like, this is your fault, Montgomery. It's like, it's what we said last time. It's like, it's what you have to do. Like, you need to change something. And like, what's the line? It's like, you can't fire the team. So it happens. But yeah, no, I think Sacco's going to kind of get the Cassidy treatment where they're like, you're the interim. But, if you do well enough and you give us a reason to not take it away from you, then there you go.
I think the exact same thing, just because it happened to Bruce. Yeah. That's honestly, yeah. It's like I heard interim. I'm like, oh, they're not hiring somebody else.
No, I think they're looking into a new assistant coach because now that I think they're short a coach now, which like, yeah, that makes sense. They're like looking for someone to complement the group.
Yeah. I could get used to Sacco. Yeah, sure. I mean, listen, I'm still learning what his coaching style is and whatever. But if you just want to talk to the personality who's at the helm of your ship, I like him. He is a youth hockey coach thing to him, where he looks like he just woke up, like he's got a hot coffee in his hand. He worked construction last night and is here to coach.
He's
and
very clearly.
Coaches,
sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
The assistant coaches are like reminding you, like, hey, like we don't take the time to come here, to come to practice for you guys to not try. Okay, you know what time your head coach went to bed last night? He didn't. Okay, he's here. Do you think he's here for the paycheck? No, he's here because he wants to see you guys succeed. Do you want that too? It's that. He's that kind of guy.
He's very clearly from Medford. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, he's from Medford. Like, yeah, like, of course he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've liked him so far. I mean, like, he's not like, Mr. Personality, but like I don't fucking need him to be. Also, like, we're past it at this point. But I'm curious. Daryl Sutter, not coaching, not around. Nobody said his name. Like, it didn't come up at all, to the point I'm like, did I miss something? Like, is there like a reason he's like not? He what?
I think he's 88.
That could be it. But like, and he's maybe too far the pendulum swinging the other way.
I don't even know what direction he's swinging.
You got to take a shit. But he's just so no nonsense, and like maybe that's what the team needed. Everybody talking about like a guy's got to come in and kick his ass. What's the look on your face right now?
He's only 66.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
How long has he looked like that?
That man can run for president. He's fine. Dude, even when he was a player, he looked like that. Yeah, that's just his face. You got to take a shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. I mean, somebody knows more than I do about like why he's not even remotely in contention for any head coaching job whatsoever. We've talked on the show before. Like, we like him. We think he's a funny guy. And like they're talking about like, yeah, that we need an outsider to come in and kick this team's ass. It's like maybe him. People, Quenville's name came up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I'm bye. I'm good. Thanks. It's the end of it.
You know what this whole thing reminds me of? Maybe not Q, but you know what everything else really reminds me of?
What?
Prize Picks.
I was going to say that.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. Check that out. So that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. That's massive. That's huge. So if your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Team looks good.
They do. I've been using the expression not fixed, but better.
Band-Aid.
Yeah, not even a Band-Aid. Band-Aid.
I've never said that word like that. Band-Aid.
Band-Aid. No, all right. It's going into the Utah game. You're looking for a difference. So it might be one of those like, I saw it because I was very specifically looking for it.
But did everyone see it because they were looking for it? You know what I mean?
It was the first period, and we're like, they're playing differently right now. Like, and you're not like, oh my god, like it's the 65-win team again. But it's like they're acting differently. They're playing differently. They're passing differently. They abandoned the neutral zone drop pass on the power play, seemingly. And
Does
they
seem
had
that way, doesn't it?
18 power play shots. 18. What? They've gone games with fewer shots on net total.
They also, this is a wicked small sample size, but it's worth pointing out because people, have been talking about the power play so much and how abysmal it's been. They are 32nd in the National Hockey League, which, as you know, Rob, there are 32 teams. So this is last place. There's nobody below them. They're at the very bottom. 12.8% this power play has been in the 2 games since. They're 2 for 9, so they're 22%. So it's again, wicked small sample size, but there's an uptick in the power play. More so the eye test. Like the stats over this small of a sample doesn't really matter as much as just the eye test does. Like you said, abandoning the neutral zone drop pass, if that's actually what they're doing. Oh my God, I love that. I know my father loves that. That's his least favorite thing in the world.
The first person I thought of when I noticed it on the first power play of the game in the first period, and their first entry, they didn't do it, and I was like,
Lou.
It's
funny. I'll be watching a game with my dad, and my dad, like, I almost like don't want to look over because I just assume that he's asleep. Like if he's been quiet for a little while, I assume he's asleep. And then like a neutral zone drop pass will happen, and just out of nowhere, you'll just hear, "I hate that! Oh, that fucking drop pass! What are you do? Move the puck!" It snaps me awake. So
he's not wrong, and he's not wrong. It's infuriating.
He's not wrong at all. No,
oh my God, they look so much better when they don't do it, and oh my God, it's so much better.
Yeah, they do. If it's hard to notice actual coaching changes, in terms of like how they're just how they're structuring things and how they're approaching things. That was a really, really evident example. But more so than that, you fire a coach, you just get a higher urgency level. And like you said early in the show, I think the guys recognized that like this falls on us.
Yeah, and it does.
And
like there's
this
no
guy lost his job because of us, and we got to come out there and I don't know, do the right thing. I don't know, do the right thing. You know what I mean? You got to play for it. Means a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of called out the leadership in the team last game too, so I want to give flowers to Brad Marchand here. I think he's been working his ass off these 2 games. If you want to, not even for very briefly mention the Red Wings performance, like he was there. He was Brad again. That goal was just like you said, 2016 Brad Marchand.
Yeah. Can I give a take on that goal?
Oh, please do.
It's not a good take.
Okay. Seeing
Brad do that made me a little sad because it made me realize how rare that is now. And made me realize I don't know. It was like, oh, wow, I forgot that you could do that. That's been a while since you did that, huh?
No, I get it. He doesn't have all of his magic that he used to. Like,
yeah.
There's been to the point where like that's kind of the first time it's worked in a while where like he'll do like a one-on-one, try to like break around someone or deke around someone, and like it just doesn't work. Where it used to feel automatic.
Oh yeah.
But again, like the effort is so there, and like that goal was great. So I'm very happy with the performances there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a few little things about some of these games too. The Utah game, Mark Kastelik, the man.
Yeah.
Like we got to start referring to it as the Kastelik trade. Like 2 fights, both in Robert Bertuzzo. First fight was like pretty even. I would probably give Kastelik the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, Bertuzzo like kind of catches Kastelik up high, like close enough where like Kastelik's like, "Fuck you, buddy, we're going again." Yeah. And then he just fucking rocked him, like fed him his dinner. And they're just booming hits. Like the effort is always there. I saw a comment there like, I don't know if Kastelik is good, but he's fun.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. I think he's good too, though.
I do. I also think he's good. I was like, no, he's good.
I think it though.
Yeah, no, he's like one of those guys that like your classic fourth liner, like he's pouring out the bucket every shift, like clearly giving 100% every shift. Like you see like some shifts from Pasta where he's just kind of gliding and like, you know, is like being Dave about it. But like
Being
Castling
Dave
is like,
about it. Yeah, I guess you
well,
kind of earned that too when you're David Pasternak.
yeah, I mean when you're a perennial 50 goal scorer, like you don't always have to. And he's also playing like 20 minutes a game. But no, Castling, such a standout. And talk about that same trade. Korpisalo, that's another can of worms we could get into.
Probably worth talking about because
Probably we're talking about. Yeah, the summary here is Jeremy Swayman not doing great. Korpisalo doing surprisingly well.
There you go.
That's it.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. But 2 shutouts for Korpisalo on the season so far, like better numbers than Swayman. Swayman did look good in the Red Wings game, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I love having Korpisalo, not only because like it's great having an awesome backup, but he's going to push Swayman. And Swayman's an incredibly competitive guy. I think that would be one of the first adjectives I would use to describe Swayman would be competitive.
Yeah.
So that's for the best. And like he's fully aware his play's not where it's been. And like we've seen him go through rough stretches before, like not so much last season, but the season before, like there was a period of time where we were like, what's going on with Jeremy?
Yeah.
So like I'm not that worried about it. And like again, missed training camp, like slow start, whatever. Like I think he's been looking better. Like the eye test has mostly been fine. There's been a couple like, oh, we should probably have that, but
yeah, that's the thing is that it feels like the defense's worst games do come when Swayman's in net. So the stats look bad. But I think it's just important to remember that I think their worst games defensively and offensively, just their worst games on the ice have come with Swayman in net. But the numbers are pretty glaring. Swayman's record is 6-7-2. Korpisalo's is 4-2-1. The goals against are 330 and 238, respectively. Save percentage 887 to Korpisalo's 911.
Yeah, so that's
an
extra. That's an extra goal per game for Swayman over Korpisalo in that sample size.
Yeah, which not great. So 15 games with Swayman in net, 8 with Korpisalo. So they are doing like a 2-1 rotation. Do you think that for right now, a 1-1 rotation might make a little more sense?
Not even. I don't think I even need to go 1-1, but I do want Korpisalo to get more starts, and I
like a
think
3-2.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think he will too. I think Sacco and I imagine Goalie Bob is pretty heavy on pulling those strings too. I think they're going to recognize, at least for now, Korpisalo is the hot hand. I wouldn't be surprised if Korpisalo got the start on Tuesday, to the point where I kind of want him to get the start. And again, it's just, there's nothing wrong with like kicking Swayman in the ass a little bit. It's like, yeah, like you're going to lose a couple of these starts, earn them back.
Mm-hmm.
And like no one benefits more than him.
It's a weird line to walk because, you know, it's a classic rust versus rest kind of situation where is it better if Swayman's struggling to keep him out of the net or to get him in there more? You know, it's weird. And it also is a matter of like, well, what are you going to do when the end of the season comes? Because I don't want to have this debate again.
No,
but I'm going to just say it now one time. I fucking so firmly believe whatever you do during the season is what you should do into the playoffs. I just so firmly believe that like guys get into a routine. So if you're doing a 2-1 throughout the season, that better be your plan going into the playoffs. Like if you're going to do a 1-1 rotation from now through the spring and then be like, oh, it's all Swayman, I think that that's a recipe for disaster. I just don't think it worked. And I know it fucking worked for last year that Swayman was standing on his head. It's just, I think goalies are such head cases that I think it matters to maintain it. And I don't know if putting Swayman through what he went through this offseason and training camp with the contract stuff, to follow that up with him sharing the net more than he expected to, is the right way to go about it. I think if I had to give like a hard take of what I want to see Swayman just like be in game or be in net for some good defensive game. Like just 2 good 3-1 wins. And I think you can right the ship by leaving him in there. I think right now it's still early enough in the season and the division is still tight enough where you're not going to lose games because you're leaving in a quote unquote struggling Jeremy Swayman. Like I think the answer is keep playing him. That's what I would push for.
You're saying to keep playing Swayman.
I would play Swayman more. Yeah. I mean, not more, but I would keep him at 2-1.
Not less. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. I think that'll be fine. Whatever they end up doing, I do think Swayman works it out. I think he's in the middle of working it out. I don't even think we're at like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think we're through probably the worst of it for him because it was like 2 games in a row where it was like 5 to 7 goals let up. And like you said, like that's more on the defense than anything. Mm-hmm. And even that like 1 goal he let in Detroit, my uncle, I wasn't watching it live. And my uncle texted me. So the only thing I knew about the game was him texting me saying, Swayman's got to have those. So when I went to go watch the game, I was like expecting some like softie. And it was like a fucking missile from 15 feet out. And I was like, no, like, it's like, that's, I mean, like maybe like, I think he would be like, I want another crack at that. But that's when that type of goal goes in, I'm not like, Swayman.
Yeah, I don't think many times this year at all I've been like, where were you, Jeremy?
It's not more than usual because the usual amount is none with Swayman. But no, like I
remember some times last year, like late in the year. Was it last year? I think it was. It was late in the year last year where there's like some short side stuff with Sway, like pretty regularly, or like getting caught on his back foot, like some weird stuff where I remember us being like, what was that? Like, where was he? But I don't really see that. It's a lot of dirty goals, a lot of uncontested men in the slot. Like, I don't know. Whenever people make the comparison, the Swayman versus Korpisalo thing, it's hit with the stats, and it's not ever like, look at this Corpy save versus this Swayman goal. It's never look at them. It's the stats. And like you said, I mean, you're down 6-1 or whatever, letting in that 7th. You on your best game? No. That's what happens. I don't know.
But generally speaking, like it's nice having at least one goalie who's hot at the moment. So the big Finn, it's working. Pasternak's a little snake bitten right now.
Yeah, let's talk about it. He almost has 2 goals in 13 games, 14 games?
I don't even know the stats, but even just again, like eye tests, like in that Red Wings game, he had like 3 or 4 all alone chances, and he had 1 shot on net across them. Just like really overthinking it, not just throwing it on net, not like he's overhandling it to the point where like people can collapse on him. Like there was one time where like he skated like past the goalie on his strong hand and had the 5-hole wide open and just didn't pull the trigger in time. So he just doesn't have it right now. When he again, like he's going to have like 3 hat tricks in 10 games at some point this season. So it'll all average out to be fine. But it's in these 2 games under Joe Sacco, they've let up 1 goal, and that's awesome. They've only scored 3. So the offense had been an issue or was an issue prior to Sacco taking over. And yes, you have 2 big dubs, but you have 3 goals scored across them. And that's not enough.
No. I did want to talk about the team, just like the team's goals.
Yeah.
Because I want to get, so without looking, please don't look.
Okay.
David Pastrnak leading the team with 8 goals.
Okay.
I want you to give me 2, 3, and 4 on this team.
I want to say Brad is 2.
Brad is 2 with 6 goals.
4, I think it's going to be Koepke.
4 is Koepke with 4. You're missing number 3. Which is kind of the one that I wanted you to miss. So
it's a forward, right?
It is a forward. It is a winger.
I really don't. I want to say Frederick.
It is Braz.
That's sick, though. I like that.
I mean, no, no, no. If he had 8 goals or 9 goals and was third on the team, yeah. But like Justin Brazeau having 5 goals and being,
second on the team,
goes Pasternak, Marchand, Brazeau.
Yeah, the
That's
team
not how the team is supposed to look.
I'm so used to like having at least one Bruin in the rotation of like the highest points in the league. And you look at McKinnon has 35 points. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What do you mean you have 35 points? Yeah, that's a little surprising. I mean,
also,
Kempke being number 4 is not your fourth. One of your fourth liners being the fourth highest goal scorer in your team right now is like, fuck. What
third.
Are you doing?
Third.
Oh, yeah.
Not
great. I will say, and I did mean to bring this to Blast Show, and I completely forgot. I've liked Braz's play. Braz has been very consistent.
Yeah,
the numbers aren't super there. He did get rewarded with the goal.
Oh, he is super there. He's the fucking third scorer on the team.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess they are. I just really like his play. I think he's doing exactly what he is supposed to be doing. And
can I say Bruin?
Yeah, Bruin.
And
a big guy who doesn't always play like a big guy. Like he finishes his checks, but like I would classify him more as a skill player, like a skilled big guy bottom 6. Like I don't know. He's like he's a conundrum. I don't really know what box to put him in.
A skilled big man.
Yeah, because like he's not a bruiser by any means. Like again, like he finishes his checks when he does, like they're solid. He's like 6'5". Like he's a big boy, stretch as they call him on the team. Apparently, not Big Easy. We don't know who Big Easy is.
We still don't know who that is.
We'll never know. But I've liked his play, and the chemistry between Justin Brazeau and Brad Marchand. I'm so intrigued by that. And centered by Elias Lindholm. Yeah, okay. That's another thing with Sacco. The lines haven't really changed. So we're seeing some consistency there.
I like that. Also, worth mentioning, Braz has taken 1 penalty this year. As a guy who is that physical, to not get himself into penalty trouble is absolutely worth mentioning, especially on a team where you have Nikita Zadorov leading the team with 46 penalty minutes. Behind him, Rob, is Mark Kastelik with 36, who just racked up 10 of those in the last game. So
12 actually, because
12 of them.
He had to hit a roughing call on that second fight.
So in reality, I mean, prior to this game, Nikita Zadorov had a 22 penalty minute lead on the team, which actually I want to check the league because I can't imagine there are too many more penalty minutes to be given out. Do they even have that?
I'm trying to find it right now. I feel like this is a good stat muse thing.
What about team penalty minutes? Where are the Bruins falling right now? Second behind the Utah Hockey Club.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that we got. I'll
was that around. Penalties or PIMs? Because PIMs, the Bruins are leading. I'm seeing the Bruins are leading with 259. But that can't be right because I don't see Utah on here.
267 Utah has.
Well, we'll go with what you're seeing. When they were like, Utah's the most penalized team in the league, and then they took 3 penalties in the first period. I'm like, I guess the fuck they are.
Yeah.
I felt like we were playing the Bruins. I was like, is this what it's like? Like, you're just like on the power play the whole fucking game? Also, like in the Red Wings game, they put up the graphic. It was like Bruins power play, 30-second. Red Wings penalty kill, 30-second. It's like, this is when a stoppable force meets a movable object. It's who's going to be the shittiest between the two. And it was Detroit because, hey, power play goals in both of Sacco's games, that's not nothing. Like, again, it is 2 games, but it's not nothing. The power play just looks different. Like, one of the things I noticed is like I think maybe the first power play against Utah, McAvoy had it out on the blue line, and he like got like 10 feet closer to the net from the blue line before shooting, which I feel like he wasn't really doing before. I still think they're overpassing on like the outer perimeter and not necessarily like being dangerous enough on it. But they have kind of eliminated that, like putting themselves in a like 2-on-2 battle or a 1-on-1 battle. It's like you have an extra guy, like you should be outnumbering them on every battle. And I think they've gotten better about that. And again, I cannot stress enough how important it is that their entries have changed. Good example of that was Georgi Merkulov in Utah, like with speed from the neutral zone along the right wing board, getting past them. And it's like, it feels, the power play feels so different when you can just jump in. Like when like you have momentum and you get it in right away and you don't do this fucking pussyfooting around on the offensive blue line and passing it back and just creeping over. And I feel like they could never get set up because they couldn't get more than like 5 feet over the blue line to begin with.
Yeah.
It's still not perfect. Like they still have quite a lot of work to do with it. But I mean, from again, might be seeing what I'm looking for, but I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I found the answer to our question. Nikita Zadorov is the second most penalized player in the National Hockey League this year.
Brent Burns.
Nope, but it is somebody you know, I know, we all know.
It's either Hathaway or Maroon.
It's Brady Tkachuk.
Oh, that's what it was right in front of me.
Yeah.
Dude, Mr. Right fighting when you're down by 4 goals and a minute left in the game. Classic. Yeah. I think we mentioned this on a previous episode. Like people in Ottawa are not big on Brady right now.
No, nor should they be.
I'd fucking take Brady on the Bruins.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I would absolutely take Brady Tkachuk on the Bruins.
No.
I'm afraid what you'd have to give up to get people are like, give him Swayman, let him have the duo again. Spend $16.5 million on 2 goaltenders.
Go for it. Yeah, that's funny. But no, I would not give up anything really for Brady Tkachuk. I just don't like his play. I mean, you want to talk about the culture taking a hit?
Yeah, not
you
great.
Want to bring a guy who Ottawa thinks doesn't fit their culture? Like, come on.
But imagine the Bruins-Panthers inevitable Panthers-Bruins playoff series when it becomes Brady versus Matt. It would just be it would be a sideshow at that point. But
I don't want to have a stake in the Tkachuk brothers rivalry. I want them to both implode. I don't want to be rooting for one of them. I don't know, to see a Bruins Tkachuk jersey. Ew.
Oh, dude. You know what? As you said that, man, no thanks.
No, I do not want that. Yucky, yucky, yucky.
It's like when I see Patrick Kane in Detroit. I'm like, fucking what? Like, it's his second year, but I'm like, ugh. Like, no, it's so weird.
We both thought the same thing when they said it. We were like, oh, yeah, right.
It was literally as the game was playing. I was like, oh, right. That's where he is. There's always like one guy on every team. You're like, you're here? Okay.
What are you doing here?
What?
Yeah. Kane is in Detroit and Taze is in India. So things have changed.
He's on his Doctor Strange arc. It's exactly what is happening.
Nobody knows what that means, man.
He's looking for Eastern medicine to solve which Western medicine couldn't.
Just like Doctor Strange.
Exactly. Look,
I don't know what that means.
It's a movie. Why did I say that so sadly? Who knows?
Probably because it's a sad thing to talk about.
Yeah, not wrong. There's definitely more I want to talk about. I started watching the Providence Bruins. That's a thing I do. That's a thing I do now.
You're tweeting a lot of minor or AHL clips.
I am.
Minor league. I guess that's also
true.
It
is a minor league.
You're tweeting a lot of Providence clips, and I need the people to tell us one way or the other if they like that, because my gut instinct when I see you tweet one of those is, do people care about the Providence Bruins? Do people want to see this?
Fuck the people. I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
We're Bruins Twitter account. I
know.
Those are the kids. Those are the next ones up. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on them. I'm mostly doing it to watch Matt Poitras and clip everything of relevance he does, and the off chance that maybe I can contribute to him returning.
I know that's
in
why.
5 games.
I just also, there's something defeatist in me, like when I see minor league clips, like especially like not to just fucking bring up the goddamn Red Sox, but for years it's been like, look at this prospect, look at this prospect, look at this prospect. And I rejected it for so long, being like, fuck you, I don't want to be excited about 4 years in the future. I want the team to be good right now. So I just don't want to fall into that where like the team was struggling a little bit. I don't want to be like only focusing on the kids. As long as we're like, hey, Patra deserves to be here, Merkulov probably also deserves to be here. Like, let's get them up right now and get this team going. I just don't like looking at guys and being like, man, in 2 years, once this guy develops, he's really going to help the team. Because it's like, well, they're playing right now. So
I'm playing the long game, okay? I'm trying to find a way to watch Mariners games. That's where I'm at. I've been trying to watch some BC because there's some. I really mostly want to keep an eye on Dean Letourneau because it's like, again, part of the old Mark trade. And we got that first round pick and got him. He's like fucking 6'8". Like the Tage Thompson.
9 years old.
Yeah, he's also a baby. So it's not really, like to what you said. It's like, in 2044, he's potentially going to be around. Yeah,
you should come watch my son play. The 2038 draft is going to be really big for him.
Hell yeah, brother. I also, Utah goaltender, former Arizona goaltender, Vejmelka. Apparently it's Vejmelka. But I've been saying Vejmelka, and people call him Veggie. So I'm like, all right, well, fucking which one is it? That's all. I've already forgotten that the Utah team is the Arizona team. Like there's times I'm like, oh yeah, it's them. It's the same team. That's it.
Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to you. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Rob, can you pull up Game Time and check out what the Providence Bruins go for these days, please?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do. Tell me if they got any super deals over there, which is they do the tiered pricing. They'd give you, they'll show you when somebody's trying to rip you off, but they'll also show you the really good deals. The super deal.
I'm seeing an excellent super deal right now. Second row, $20.
Woo! Check that out. And that $20 is the all-in total price because Game Time has an option called all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees. At checkout, you also get views, a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. And Game Time's lowest price guarantee guarantees the lowest price on tickets, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it, Rob?
Game time.
I want to look at the schedule going forward.
Well, the next game, we got some familiar faces next game.
We sure do.
A Mr. Jake DeBrusk.
Jake DeBrusk's return to Boston.
Actually, no, isn't this one in Vancouver?
No, this is in Boston.
Oh, you're right. Yep, this is in Boston.
Yes.
4:00. What?
Yeah. No, it's not. No, it's 7.
That's my VPN on?
Yeah, where are you?
I don't know. It's the one I'm looking at. It says 4. I think it thinks I'm in Japan or something.
Well,
I set my VPN to Japan. What?
Any viewers in Osaka, it's going to be 4 p.m. for you guys.
It's going to be 4 a.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. at the Bruins. So yeah,
7 p.m. in Boston.
Jake's getting a video. 100% Jake's getting a tribute
video. You think
video.
Jake's getting a video?
Do not think Jake DeBrusk is getting a tribute video?
No.
Joe, I will bet you as much money as I have.
He might get a quick between whistles.
He was on the team for 7 fucking years. We drafted him.
I don't think he gets one. Not a full tribute video. He might get like a between periods, or a between whistles. Like you're gonna have to find somebody who took a video at the Garden.
Well, yeah, that's what no, they're gonna show it. No, Jake was a fan favorite, 100%. Dude, this
Why
feels
would
like one of those.
highlight
This
that
feels
they
like
let
a
a
time.
fan favorite go while they're struggling?
This feels like a time where you just disagree with me for content. Like, no, like he 100% is getting a tribute video. They're going to show him leaning on the bench. He's going to skate out, put his stick up. Like, he's going to get a round of applause. Like, Selly season. Yeah, 100% he's getting a video. 100%.
I don't know.
Who else did we send there? We sent Forbert's on the IR. They have who we sent a third person there.
Lauco.
No, he's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota now.
He's in Minnesota. They seem to be liking him. Heinen went there. That's what it was.
Heinen get a tribute video too?
Heinen is not getting a tribute video.
Okay, so they're going to highlight one player and not the other.
Joe, shut the fuck up. Like, yes.
Okay.
Like, Jake
Right,
okay. Dude, I can't wait to text you so much when it's happening. Be like, hey, are you watching? It's happening. Yeah. But yeah,
it's on ESPN Plus if anybody's interested. Tickets as low as $55. I'm sure they're cheaper on the Game Time app.
Let's see if I can find some. Yeah. Also, there was a report that the Bruins sellout streak at TD Garden ended, and apparently that's not true. There was an error, and it is still going. Which it kind of made me sad when it ended, because it dates back to December 2009. Wow. 15 years of sellouts. It's like 600 games in a row.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't end.
No, it's like one of those things
the
that
team has
matter,
got to be in disrepair for it to end.
Yeah, which like we were not at.
I'm toggling the all-in price feature here on the Game Time app. Wow, great deal. $59.
That's not bad.
That's
not
really
bad at all.
good.
I was about to say something. Oh, yeah, I want to very quickly. Merkulov in the Utah game, I really liked what he brought, especially, and I loved that Sacco was like putting him on the top unit, at least to start. Because I think they kind of need to give the kids a little bit more reps in moments like that. He did get sent down, and then he scored the game winner in Providence in overtime. And then they call Mark McLaughlin back up, and he was a healthy scratch against Detroit, but they are playing a lot of games. They have a back-to-back this week included. And they got to get Johnson back in the lineup, so there's some juggling going on. And again, Mark McLaughlin has goals in his last 5 games in Providence, and they did the locker room interview with him. And he's like, I think my game is in a great place right now. Mm-hmm. He's playing very good hockey, both defensively and offensively. Has experience with the team. He has several goals at TD Garden. I really hope to see him against Vancouver. But if they kept Johnson in over him, I'm fine with that too, because I like Tyler Johnson's play also.
Right.
He took 2 really stupid penalties against Detroit. But if I'm not mistaken, he had a really big assist in that game as well too. So I've liked his play. Yeah. What are you thinking about over there, Joe?
What am I thinking about?
What are you thinking about?
Thinking about maybe attending this here Vancouver game.
Oh yeah, it's Tuesday. That's
Tuesday night. Yeah.
Do you want to go?
I'm seeing a super deal in the lower bowl, 10 rows back for $126.
I could be convinced to go to that game, Joe. To watch that Jake DeBrusk tribute video.
How about this? If you're right and they play the Jake DeBrusk tribute video, then you can pay for the tickets.
Deal. You fool. Not me trying to get in contact with T-Guard and be like, for the love of God, do not play a tribute video. I'll pay you $400 to avoid paying Joe $100. It's a matter of principle.
They take a $400 bribe.
And it's someone who doesn't even work at TD Garden. All right.
Yeah, just the slap shot guy outside on the rollerblades.
Yeah.
You're like, listen, don't play the video.
He's skating away from me with the flag. Come back.
The Bruins have a lot of staple fans. I realized that the other day because I was talking to somebody because they were talking about some Celtics fan that's like a famous fan or something. And I was like, oh, the Bruins have a few of those. They have the lady with the Christmas hat. They got
the creatures of TD Garden. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the rollerblade guy outside. You got the luchador.
Mm-hmm. You got the vest guy.
You got the vest guy.
You got the lady who throws coins at people. She's my favorite.
I don't know her.
She's the older woman who wears the full hockey helmet. She's like she's shorter, wears glasses. Oh yeah, Sarah and I sat next to her one time.
No, that's the woman with the Christmas hat.
Christmas hat? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like a big hat. She puts like ornaments on it.
She wears a helmet.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, Joe, you're just fighting me to fight me this episode. She 100%. If we're talking about the same woman, yes, she wears a
She was in like the Stitches video last year.
Yes, that's her. She's wearing a helmet. These are my coworkers. These are my people, all right?
105-year-old. That's not her.
That's her. Yeah, no. The TD Garden does have some reoccurring characters. You're like, oh, it's them. Like you recognize them. I didn't know what you meant by staple. I was like, the company?
Yeah.
Big office supply. Employees. Big office supply. Some really good content from the social media for the Bruins account lately. I love the video of Mason going around asking people what their favorite nickname on the team is.
Absolutely worth talking about.
Yeah, McAvoy, like I said, it's just like, oh, this lowrider, like I gave it to him, like.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, yeah, he gave himself this nickname.
Gucci Mace.
Yeah,
that was good. And he goes up to Brad. Brad starts walking away. It's like, no, you don't have to go anywhere. Like, no,
you're good. You're good. Stay right there. We got to figure out who the Big Easy is.
Yeah, that's.
Well, actually, the Big Easy is New Orleans. Wouldn't that also be Mason?
Oh, that would make sense. I could see that. And it would probably make sense why they said that to him, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably Mason.
I'll ask him. Next time I see Mason Lauren, I'll ask him. We run into each other a lot.
That video was the first time I felt like NHL players are mostly younger than me, which is true.
Yeah, you said that.
Watching them talk to each other, I was like, wow, these are like young kids. I mean, Mason is insanely young, but even like Freddie looks crazy. How old is Freddie? He's probably our age, probably 28.
No, he's younger than us. He's younger than us, I think.
Really?
Yeah. My only saving grace is that McAvoy and I have been losing our hair together. Nice. We have the exact same hairline. He's 26. Yeah. Frederick is 26. He was born in 98. Just a baby. Just a child.
Well, we're going to, I would assume, be back after the Canucks and Islanders game.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The back-to-back is this week. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you want to do Wednesday night?
I can do Wednesday night. Yeah.
Let's maybe do Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning.
Yeah. I'm free.
Thursday morning is Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is.
So
Wednesday night it is.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, then we can give the people a nice Thanksgiving show for when they're driving to their relatives.
Wow. Yeah, remember when you're driving to your relative's house on Thanksgiving, check Bear With Me's got a new episode, and it's going to be a good one. Check out the YouTube. The YouTube is getting a lot of attention over there. So if you are just a listener, head on over there. And if you're a new viewer on YouTube, you can also find the show on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. This is there. So we appreciate the support and appreciate you guys listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for,
bearing with me.
You can follow the show at bearwithme_pod. I forgot to say that part.
Sorry for our potty mouths.